everybody, to Broad Spectrum Studios Hypercast number 5?
Number 5.
Cinco.
Oh, yeah.
Cinco de almost Mayo.
Almost Mayo. What? Happy almost Cinco de Mayo.
So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to episode 5. We have a really exciting episode lined up today.
Ooh, do we?
We do have an exciting episode.
Ooh.
I'm glad you tuned in this time, Neil.
That's exciting.
We are going to give you an update on where we've been and where we're going with Flintlocke as well as Gunnerkrigg Courts. We're going to go back into our mailbag and use some more user comments, comment on those.
We're going to talk a little bit about Metal Gear 4.
Yes, it is coming.
Guns of the Patriots. Huh? Who's excited?
Yeah.
Not you.
Yep. Just keep on getting excited.
Yep.
So we're going to go to a mailbag. Then we're going to actually talk about a new project that we're involved with, which is a feature film being shot in South Carolina. Very excited.
I can't wait.
And that actually feeds into our guest star for the week, who is the director, writer, producer, everything for this film, Yoshi Torres. So we'll be interviewing her, and she'll be giving you some insight from what it's like to be a real filmmaker as opposed to what we do. And finally, we'll end up with another advice column. Give you a few more pieces of advice on what it's like to break in the entertainment industry and get you guys set up.
Because we're so well adept at that.
Yes, we are.
So let's let you know what we've been doing with Flintlocke and Gunnerkrigg lately. We are now recorded up through episode
2?
As you can see, we're very coordinated across the studios. We have a production schedule with all these dates and stuff on it, and
way ahead of the game.
We keep track of everything.
Exactly.
I believe we recorded through episode 4 of both Flintlocke and Gunnerkrigg.
Wow.
Yeah, we're actually getting into the meat of the series now.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple things we got to pick up this within the next couple of weeks for 4.
That's true. We do have some extra voices that we haven't recorded yet.
Yeah.
But at the very least, we're looking good, and in that respect, we're starting, as I said, to develop some of the recurring characters in both series. So we've introduced the whole party in Flintlocke now, which includes Amber playing the 2 female leads, me and Neil playing the 2 male leads, and Josh playing the stupid voices.
Yep. If you guys anybody needs a stupid voice guy, I know a good one.
So do we.
Whenever we need a female voice, we automatically go to Amber. What can you do? And if we need even more variety, we might go to Naomi as well. But whenever we need a male voice, it usually comes down to me or Neil working on it. And then if we need a stupid voice,
if we need a retard, they're like, hey, call the prop guy.
We don't do that on purpose. It just kind of naturally evolved that way because
because he's got a stupid voice.
Some people are born with it.
Thanks, Dad.
Because, we would say,
anytime, Sean.
Josh, do a British accent. And he'd be like, I don't know how to do a British accent. Okay, Josh, do a Scottish accent. I don't know how to do that. Josh, do a German accent. I don't know how to do that. So, whenever we need to do an accent, it always ended up being me or Neil. And then whenever we needed just something to fill in, we just say, well, we feel bad because Josh hasn't gotten to do anything. Let's give him a job.
Hey, Josh, mumble this.
I get the pity parts.
Yes, we realized after we've done Metal Gear, after we've done Flintlocke, after we've done Gunnerkrigg, that he ends up playing characters like Vamp with the slurpy noise. He gets to play.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
He gets to play Theseus.
Gray Fox.
Yeah, Theseus and Gunnerkrigg with a hey baby, I never for you.
He gets to play the gnomes that get kicked out of bars.
Yes,
that's right.
So I don't know. I do really feel bad about it. I don't know what to do.
I don't.
Jack,
somebody's got to do it. Might as well be him.
See where your talent is.
Wow. I'll remember this.
I'm sorry. Your stupid voices are funny to me.
You'll have to remember this. It's going on YouTube.
I don't have to remember it.
It's going to be forever.
The entire internet's going to remember this.
No, they don't.
All of it.
Yeah, all 100 people that listen to this one all the way through. Because where are we at? 7 minutes right now? So.
Oh, wow, we're up to 100 now.
Yeah. It's been a long 3 years.
I don't think those 100 people listen through 7 minutes.
Just struggling and struggling.
Actually, that's funny you bring that up, Josh, because I was looking at the analytics on our video, and I checked the average attention span for our videos. And for all our videos on average,
I don't know if I want to hear this.
people watch for about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. They watched for 420. So I'm pretty sure that means that in addition to being 13-year-olds, all of our demographic is pot smokers.
We here at Broad Spectrum Studios do not condone drug use in any manner. Did where the Funyuns fall?
Give me some insight into how we record.
I don't know.
Are we recording now?
Probably not.
We also realized that a lot of our actors have these strange, like, little tics in order to get into character, like especially Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Of all people.
Neil has hand signals.
Yes, like he cannot be in character unless he's doing something with his hands, and it changes on a per character basis.
Yeah. Otacon has clenched fists that are held right next to his shoulders, and they wiggle the whole time.
They do. When you hear that little bravado, when he's like going, nah, it's because he's wiggling himself.
He had another character that looked like a T-Rex. Who was that? I don't know. It was almost like Otacon, but he had
Will?
fingers out.
Was it Will?
That
Yeah,
was
it is.
Will.
It is. It's
Yes,
Will.
William in Gunnerkrigg Court, he does these little T-Rex hands.
And now he's got the priest.
Yes, Schweitzer.
Schweitzer, yeah.
Schweitzer in Flintlocke. He has
He
an
looks
imaginary cape that he pulls up, right? And so, like, we're literally recording, and I'm looking at the script, right? Because I'm supervising this, and I turn around and I see Neil doing like this Karate Kid kind of pose. He's got his arms just flayed out in the air, and he's going, "Your role in the party is of some damage."
I want to suck your blood.
It's true. You guys can't do what I do.
We can't.
That's what I do.
It's
And for one, and for once, I'm proud to admit that.
Thanks,
like, I make a
guys.
stupid sound guy, but I don't make stupid hand motions.
Stupid arm guy.
So, what about you, Amber? What kind of stuff do you do to get in character?
oh, I'm like nothing like you guys.
Dude, try to one-up me. Just try. Come on. I dare you.
Can't.
No, I'm from what I've seen, like outtakes with Bruce Willis in studios and things like that. I think I tend to do very similar voice acting things, just basic hand movements. There's a lot of body action. You're very expressive when you're doing stuff. It's nothing you get to see on camera, but it's everything that makes energy in your body.
Now, I've noticed that Amber, even though she knows she's recording only for a VO, she has to act the scene out in front of the mic. Yeah.
But, you know, in all seriousness, I think that's kind of a legit practice, because
I agree.
something I've noticed with voice acting is you're losing an entire dimension of expression. You have no facial expression. You can't, use your body language at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of like, how a blind person, like, their other senses have to pick up to compensate for that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're projecting yourself through voice acting, you have to really overcompensate for the lack of physical acting, So you still don't want to overly ham it up, but you do kind of need to overexpress yourself to some degree to get that same emotion out there.
Yeah, and you're usually, when you're doing it, you're reading the lines because they're in front of you and you can have that luxury. But sometimes it can sound like you're
Reading the
lines.
Yeah.
So another practice I think is a good idea is memorizing them to some extent as if you were on a stage without the use of a script in front of you.
That's a really good point, especially if you're somebody like Amber who does,
Who has to act it out. Yeah. Like the darn, she was recording Blood Rose, and I thought she was going to beat the tar out of the mic when she was, bouncing around, flailing her fists around.
She was seriously acting it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Blood Rose, one of the most fun / challenging aspects of voice recording, like the one of the most fun challenging stages, is when we first start to record and we're trying to figure out what voices should sound like. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes you just read something and you automatically know, oh, you should sound like this, But then sometimes you just gotta play around and, like, especially on Flintlocke when we got to where we introduced the rest of the party, Amber had to do a lot of playing around to see where the female voices ended up on characters like Katharina. But then on a character like Blood Rose, like in her very first take, she immediately nails it.
Yep.
Like,
well, she's cute, she's spunky, she's little, so she's fun.
and the thing that I like most about it, especially Amber's treatment, is when you take the character and you don't like make it something different from what's there, but you build on it. You build some meaning into it that wasn't there before. Mm-hmm. Like there's a really great line in episode 3 that we just released, where I can't do it, so Amber has to do it.
The scene, if you look at it just in and of itself, is the characters standing there with their mouth open, just posed. Sure, you can add some animation to that, but what do you really take away from what that's supposed to look like or sound like? And I kind of came up with something along the lines of, I blow through those like Kleenex!
Yeah, she does like this like, YOLO, mother kind of thing. And it started like this chain reaction, so the rest of the time we were playing it like we were rejects from Jersey Shore, you know? Neil's over there doing his little vampire voice like, hey, I'm the doctor, mother.
What is a YOLO?
You only live once. It's an acronym.
The hell?
An acronym?
An acronym?
Yeah.
It's just an acronym, dude.
Whatever. Yeah, you only live once. YOLO.
Yeah, I can count letters. What does it have to do with it?
You can count. That's
Oh, he's mad, bro. He's mad.
That's why he's a sound guy.
It's
not
part
a
of
mathematician.
this modern day douche-nuggery. Wasn't it Drake that came up with that?
I don't even want to know who came up with it.
Drake who?
Drake, the Canadian
Really?
Drake the Canadian Mountie?
No.
Is that what you said?
rapper. They have things other than bears and maple syrup up there.
Yeah, who knew?
I thought it was just trees.
And rocks.
That's about the only good thing.
And Drake just unsubscribed from us.
And so did every other.
So did
So did all
everybody.
the 13-year-olds.
But no, I'm pretty sure he's the one that, quote-unquote, invented YOLO. That was my auto-tuning.
That was good, though.
That was pretty good. I was impressed, kind of scared a little bit.
Yeah,
But Drake invented YOLO, which is you only live once, which is like what you say before you go do something dumb as
Stupid.
hell. Exactly. YOLO!
I just got pulled over. YOLO!
I just beat down the cop. YOLO!
I'm going bungee jumping. YOLO!
Without a bungee.
So, yeah, we have lots of fun in the studio. And then by far the most fun part is after we release something. And as soon as we do, like for the next 48-hour period, I'm like the guy from Lost, constantly pushing the button to reset the clock. Because I'm on our YouTube channel refreshing it's way more than every 108 minutes. It's like every 20 seconds. I'm refreshing. 21 views. 24 views. 25 views. So I'm constantly checking feedback.
Another comment. Click.
Exactly. So
Mailbag!
one of the things I really like about the comments in Gunnerkrigg Court episode 2 so far is from Camaro General. He cites, he specifically links in at 249, we have a little segment where we use a sound clip from one of our earlier Metal Gears, and he recognizes it. He associates the quote with it of, first person to start shooting at random gets a cupcake! And he saw that I used that little cello as Gina's sliding up over the wall.
That's right.
Yeah. I use that same cello effect as cats sliding out from behind the wall, looking at me. And even that in itself is actually an homage to Dexter's Laboratory and Powerpuff Girls. All of those cartoons actually use that same cello effect as people are sliding around corners. So I'm glad people notice that. Like when I'm making a little inside joke and they get it.
Yeah, it's cool. Bean Clear says, "Oh man, I love Cat's voice. It's not what I imagined, but it's just as good and or better than the one I had." Thank you for that. I mean, we really strive here to make the comics that we do come alive. So it's really gratifying to hear somebody appreciate the effort that we put in these characters to make them fit into this world.
This is very true. And actually, it brings up a good point. Like, sometimes we find ourselves in these weird positions where, like, we've polarized our audience, and half of them love a voice and half of them don't. Like, we specifically ended up with that in several cases for Shaggohod for the third Metal Gear comic that we did.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because we actually did change one of the voice actors
With
mid-season due to fan feedback, and even when we did, we still had some people who liked the original. So there's always this.
You're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah, it's like a George Lucas dilemma almost. Of like, how much can you really toy with something before you break it entirely? You know? So you want to keep your fiddling to a minimum, but we do obviously love feedbacks like that.
I want to open up this one here from Gandalf587. It says, thanks for that FYI at the end. I know a lot of people with YouTube and the attention spans not being,
what they used to be.
I see credits and I'm going to click off, Well, obviously, if you stayed past the credits, we did have a little snippet in there. We call it Tea Time, where T actually explained a little bit about the, I don't even know what it was.
Sleeping system.
Yeah, there you go. The sleeping quarters.
The bunks.
You didn't watch to the end, Josh.
I did watch to the end. I just watched it like a week ago. So.
Speaking of that, actually feeds back into what we were talking about earlier about how we have these, getting into character chicks. Mm-hmm. Amber, explain yours that you did for getting into the role of T. Like, who did you base that off of?
That was actually based off of Luna from Harry Potter. Just how she's just so ethereal and very flowy, very, like, in her own world kind of thing, but still very present with how she's talking to you. But just the way she talks makes you think she's more of like floating on a cloud.
It's soft and light and airy.
Yeah. It's like if you could blow a fan and she'd wave in the wind kind of thing.
Kind of like what would happen if Neil was standing in front of his box fan that he just got.
Shut up, you.
I'm opening from our last Hypercast, actually. We have a opening from Anders Pecor. And his comment says, stop making every other video you are working on or thinking of making, and let's make Defeat the Patriots. It's that simple.
Is it?
Well,
Is it really?
It just might be if you stay tuned.
Oh, now we're learning to yes.
No, with the simplicity of it comes, we love great artists out there, and we love doing dubs for the people that want to make our art, and we will do dubs to your comics. So for anybody who has comics out there that they want us to dub, you can go ahead and send that stuff to us. Send us your links, send us your websites. We'll look at your stuff. And if you'd love us to dub your stuff, then let us know.
Yeah, I'm up for new projects all the time.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But you have to be good.
Wow.
You loved us in Metal Gear. You loved us in Gunnerkrigg. You're loving Flintlocke, so let's keep going with them.
Yeah. In the right direction, though. No stick figures.
Yeah, not the left one.
Yeah, no stick figures.
I'm starting to think that Revenger 210 is probably the only one that actually follows us.
So
Very, like, to any real degree. Mm-hmm. Because we keep getting all of these comments about make new Metal Gear, and we've explained. Look,
literally in every podcast
we didn't write.
We can't do it.
Yeah, we don't write the Metal Gear comics. Chaim Daisy wrote them, and we just got her permission to dub them. And every freaking thing we post, we get somebody saying, "Let's make Metal Gear 4," and Revenger 210 says, "Unfortunately, there's no such comic from Chaim Daisy to dub." Frowny face, Yeah. Well.
So thank you, Revenger, for paying attention to us.
Yes, and anybody that really wants Metal Gear 4. Contact Chaim Daisy. Get her to write us another comic.
But something just might happen.
It just might.
We might have to work this out.
What could we be talking about? You'll have to keep on watching our episodes and paying attention.
Ooh.
Revenger 210, because I know you're the only person listening right now.
That's right. I'm bored and need attention.
Quiet over there, stupid voice guy.
Get back in your hole. I think that just about closes up for the mailbag. We're going to put these in our filing system. So now we go to our guest victim of the week, which is Yoshi Torres. She is a filmmaker that is working on a project in South Carolina right now.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
Yes, super excited about it. Neil and I will actually be working directly with her on this. Neil, you're handling the scoring?
And the sound engineering.
Sound engineering.
For the final mix.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I'll actually be helping out with editing and as well as some filming. So, without further ado, we give you Yoshi. Hi, Yoshi.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing good. What about you?
I'm pretty awesome. Working on this thing and making sure everything is getting ready and set,
Well, first of all, I guess I wanted to ask, how many hats are you wearing on this project? Are you, writing and scripting and producing and everything, or what?
I am every hat imaginable that we have on a movie set. I am producer, director, writer, set location, all that jazz. So I'm pretty much wearing every hat out there that we have. But I do have a great crew who's behind me, who's helping me with everything else. So that's a good thing as far as filming and all that. So we got pretty much everything that we got set.
How did you get involved with this? When did you decide, hey, I want to make movies? That's a pretty big jump for somebody.
Halfway through college, my major was physical therapist.
Really?
When we got to the part where we're supposed to do you have to deal with blood, I kind of said that's not for me. I've always liked films, so I kind of just said, let me try this film thing, and I kind of fell in love with it. So I've been doing it ever since. So that's how it all started. Just me changing majors during college because I wanted to follow something that I actually really love doing versus something that made me money.
Right, because independent filmmaking doesn't.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, that really is one of the biggest things. The American dream isn't, let's see who can make the most money. The American dream is, let's do what you love.
Pretty much, yeah. Exactly. That's how I kind of felt like, I wasn't going to love physical therapy, so filmmaking is something I definitely love doing. That's why I went for it.
I understand what you're working on now is kind of a mockumentary kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a comedy, and it's based off of, what I do now. I work at a record store, so I deal with these crazy customers that come into my store, and I'm just like, you know what? I kind of want to make a movie about these, unique, crazy people that work at a record store because they have to deal with, these type of characters. But the type of movies that I actually really like, it's movies that make you think, like Inception, stuff like that.
Nice. Very good choice.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan, I think he's one of the best directors out there. Just stuff that just at the end of the movie you're thinking, what the heck was this? Or, how did they get to point A to point B is type of films that I actually like doing. But comedy is my first shot, and I hear that making comedy is actually really hard than making superhero movies, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's kind of our thoughts on it, too.
Because after about the 20th take, the joke's not funny anymore, and you're just ready to move on.
You also have to have actors who can, deliver a joke on point and make it sound funny,
Right.
Not everyone can do that, and that's the tricky part of finding an actor who can be funny and make it look it's easy and cool,
Do you have a stupid voice guy?
Because I noticed that wasn't filled on your production crew list yet, and we have an excellent stupid voice guy.
Yes, we do.
How long did it take you to set all this up from the initial idea of doing the film to where you are now about to actually shoot it?
I've been in pre-production for about a year now, as far as developing the stories and the type of characters that are going to be incorporated with the film. Making sure that each, people kind of, mix well with the others. And it's different when you have the characters set in your mind and you're trying to write it on paper. It's just a different kind of world. But as far as, getting everything ready, we've been doing it at the end of December. So hopefully we're trying to push for a summer release summer production, excuse me. So it's, fingers crossed, at this point.
In pre-production, what have you found to be the most difficult or challenging issues that you've run into so far?
Finding people who actually want to commit. There's a lot of people out there who said, yeah, do it. And then once you meet up, they kind of just, leave you in the dust or, don't say anything or whatnot. But for us on this production, it's been hard finding, actors who are actually pretty funny. Because there's a lot of like dramatic actors out there who want to be the next Jennifer Lawrence or, the next DiCaprio. What
kind of audition process have you gone through to find the comedic versus dramatic actors?
So far we've posted a couple of casting calls online. They only, a lot of people are from like LA or New York or Houston. So the ones that we do find around town, we've auditioned them and then, they haven't worked out. I do have 2 actors flying in from Los Angeles to play 2 of the main leads in our film. They've been on shows like Criminal Minds, and one of the guys just did a guest star in the show Newsroom, so that's pretty exciting to have them on board.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty prestigious show.
Yeah. Have you gone through in getting ready to start shooting it? Have you cast everything and gone through all of your extras and you have everybody on board for it? Or is that something you're still looking for most of?
I am still looking for about 4 more main actors. We are looking for a ton of extras to play customers, to play, background characters and all that. So we are doing an open casting call within the next couple of weeks to see if we can find anyone who is funny enough for the main actors and people who just want to be, part of the filmmaking process.
Yeah, you mentioned something that I also was really interested in about finding, while you're putting together your crew, while you're putting together your talent, finding people that work well together. And I want to really highlight that because more than a lot of industries, filmmaking is a very personality/ego driven business.
Right.
And people's personalities working together is such a huge component of pulling off a successful production.
It is.
So have you had people in your crew that just didn't work along well together, and was there a way you could reconcile that, or was it pretty much just y'all had to go your separate ways?
I've been really, really lucky lately as far as my crew and cast. I've been finding people who, we have the same kind of personality and we have the same vision and goal to, go to point B for this film, which is a blessing for this film right now. So I haven't had, that, different creative differences yet, but, like in every business, it's going to happen. We just have to come together, work together, break through it, and, go on with filming. But as right now, I'm just, like I said, I've been lucky in finding people who have the same passion and dream as I do.
Now, speaking of pre-production and putting together your resources, putting together your capital and everything, this project is also pretty fun and exciting because it's crowdfunded, right?
It is, which is like the new filmmaking tool now, which is pretty exciting. Recently, I think the new Veronica Mars just got crowdfunded for $5.3 million, something ridiculous like that. Yeah. So it's, it's word of mouth and, people who actually appreciate indie filmmakers and indie films. That's how, we can make something like that happen. But yeah, we're doing crowdfunding. We're doing the Kickstarter video, which is going to go live May 1st. We just shot the promos for all that yesterday, so that was pretty exciting. Our video is marketing our film within our film, which is kind of different because a lot of Kickstarter videos are about, hey, come help us out, blah, blah, blah. We kind of did this whole story for our video. Which is pretty cool. It takes place, a producer comes in, he's such a douchebag, he wants to make a movie or whatnot, so he's trying to tell the audience, why they should donate, so That's the idea that we're going for the video. So if you think, it's kind of like douchey, yes, that's what we went for. Just throwing it out there. Because the film, it takes place at a record store / movie store, we as filmmakers cannot show band logos. We can't show, movie titles, all that. So what we're thinking of doing is hiring a lot of local bands around town to be featured in a limited edition soundtrack that we're going to do. So we're going to feature Greenville, we're going to feature, the South and how we kind of rock it and do it, which is pretty exciting. Also, we're going to do, one of the prizes that we're doing is, because we can't show band posters, we're actually going to do likeness and fake bands and all these crazy, funny things to incorporate in the film. One of the prizes that we're giving away is if you donate, I think it was $500, you get the likeness of your face on a band poster and you'll be shown in the film, which is pretty awesome.
Those are some really good perks. Like, I've worked with a couple of crowdfunded campaigns so far, and everybody just, when it comes down to the rewards for donating, people are like, well, maybe we can make a t-shirt or something. Right. So these sound really unique. I'm actually really excited about that.
Yeah, those are real smart.
My team and I came up with these really cool ideas because we are big, huge fans of Kickstarter. And we've, everyone that does Kickstarter does the same prizes. Posters, bumper stickers, t-shirts, buttons, all that jazz. So because this is such a really cool project, we decided, why not we just do something unique and different, we don't really see that in the Kickstarter prizes, so let's do, something that can bring the people in and say, dude, I want to donate to this project because my face would be on screen. I'm going to be famous, Yeah. Everyone wants to be famous, let's face it. But that's the way we see it. I mean, there's some really, for the people who donate more, there's really cool prizes for them. I think we're doing, if you donate $5,000, you get a choice of either having a walk-in role in our film or an associate producer credit. So it's up to you which one you want. And if you get the associate producer credit, automatically that's an IMDb credit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone wants an IMDb page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've made it in today's world.
Man,
on IMDb.
That's pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I would, whip out my iPhone and be like, look it out, I'm on IMDb, buy me a drink kind of thing,
Today on Practical Uses for Film Fame.
Right.
Yes, I would actually print you out an IMDb card saying, I'm on IMDb, bitches, look me up.
Nice.
And just whip it out. So if you see a really hot guy downtown, just be like, I'm on IMDb, bitches.
I'll do that.
Yep, he will. If he sees a really hot guy, he'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to change that to the name of our Facebook group now. I'm on IMDb, bitches.
Holla!
YOLO. You mad, bro?
Broad Switcher Studios was too hard to say, so we just said we're on IMDb, bitches.
And we got a bunch of cool local artists who are actually going to be drawing all these things and feature their artwork inside the film. So I'm pretty excited that, not only am I doing this for my town and my city, but I'm actually having, people who live in my town come and show their artwork in this film, which is pretty rad and exciting, like I said.
That is amazing. Now, to rewind a little bit, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that I was showing this podcast to a 55-year-old engineer who has never heard of the term crowdfunding. What is that?
Basically, it's, just a website where people put up their craft and idea, like film, you can do artwork, you can do, fashion, whatnot. They make a video, they say, hey guys, this is what we're about, this is what we're doing, we're really passionate about this project, whatnot, please donate. And you have the options of, whether or not you want to donate or not, but if you do want to donate, there's different cool prizes that you get for each donation. So that's basically what crowdfunding is. If you believe in the idea and you believe in this project, you believe the people who are behind it, then support it, That's what crowdfunding is. At least, the way I see it. People who are like 55, they probably think, what is this computer? I don't know.
Sorry, Dan.
Sorry, Mom. I mean, I only can teach you how to use your iPhone about 50 million times.
Speaking of celebrity from the ground up, how ferociously do you leverage tools like Twitter and Facebook when you're putting out production news?
I'm on there like all the time. I'm actually on it right now, so you just can't see. I mean, I have a Tumblr account that goes straight to my Twitter, that goes straight to my Facebook. So, you know, anything I post is automatically like on social media network, which is, you know, everyone's life. Well, at least my life for sure. Because there's a lot of people that, you know, you wouldn't think you would connect with, you know, physically walking outside of your door or outside of your house. But social networking has opened the door to a lot of things for filmmaking and for me, myself personally. Without social networking, I think this film wouldn't have be as much of a success or as much as it's going at it right now without, you know, Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr and all that. So I'm really actually a fan of social networking. And that's like I said, that's what I like about social networking. Because, I mean, I can go on Twitter and find out, you know, the new still picture for the new Iron Man 3 movie, which I'm pretty, you know, psyched about, you know.
So is Neil. He thinks he is Iron Man. He just needs to put on about, 245 pounds of muscle weight.
Exactly. You know, like, I just found out through Twitter that Gwyneth Paltrow is going to wear an Iron Man 3 suit, which is just like, you know, kind of thing for me.
Yeah, it's in one of the trailers.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen it yet.
Is it?
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
see, yeah. I didn't see the last trailer. I've just seen, you know, the first teaser trailer, which is, you know, I'm slacking on my part, I guess.
Yeah, you are.
It was pretty terrible. Like, Neil Lee Griffin has a huge Robert Downey Jr. crush. So when Iron Man 2 came out, like, for the next 3 months, he did nothing but walk around the office wearing wife beaters, you know?
Right.
I mean, he did everything short of sticking a car engine into his chest.
That's how I felt about when Avengers came out. I thought I was Black Widow. I'm not gonna lie.
Ah, see, I'm not alone.
Nice. No love for Hawkeye from anyone?
I love Hawkeye.
That's what the Avengers say too. He's like the Aquaman of their group.
Right.
I'm a big fan of Hawkeye.
You're a big fan of... There's a difference. You're a big fan of Jeremy Renner.
Okay, maybe
so. No, the using a bow and arrow, I am a pretty big fan of that.
Well, I mean, last summer was a bow and arrow kind of, you know, summer. I mean,
yeah, Hunger Games
and all that. Yeah. So, you know, bow and arrow, that's hot. That's a new hot thing now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's completely silent, does 12 times more damage than a bullet.
Right. For some reason, you know what? Like, oh man, I can't believe, like, why did we replace bows and arrows with guns?
Right. We take skill to use.
It's always sexy to see a guy just, you know, bow and arrow, you know, your perk in the face or something like that.
Well, there's something about you actually have to have the muscle strength to draw it. And so, yeah, you look good if you're drawing it.
I mean, why do you think Robin Hood had all them ladies come up from him?
All them ladies. You know, Maid Marian was just his main squeeze, you know, but on the down low.
He had Clucky. He had
the whole town, yeah.
Okay.
Who would be your absolute dream person to work with on any kind of film? Whether it's production, whether it's an actor, who is like your ideal, you would be awesome to get to work with?
Wow. You know, I have a lady crush for Charlize Theron.
Nice.
Hey!
Yeah. Anything I see her and I'm just like girl crushed on her. I just think she's awesome. I mean, I love the fact that she, her eyes is what brings me in as far as when she's in character, and she's just so intense. I mean, the only reason why I went to go see Snow White and the Huntsman was because she was the queen.
I love that movie, Snow White and the Thor.
Yeah, I love that one.
I didn't really care about anybody else except for her, you know? But yeah, she's just, I don't know, I would totally like want to work with her. As far as actor, I don't know, maybe like DiCaprio, because, you know, let's face it, he was pretty hot in Titanic.
That was like 20 years ago.
And Growing Pains.
I'm still crushing on that ever since. So.
He's been riding that boat a long time.
Yeah.
What about What's Eating Gilbert Grape? I mean...
Oh yeah, let's talk about that role, you know.
Nobody remembers that.
Yeah, no one remembers What's Eating Gilbert Grape or Growing Pains, you know.
Hey.
See,
Right?
I think that both of those are really good choices, and also it takes a lot of bravery to actually stand up and commit to one of those, because
Right.
these are the kind of interviews that like really bite you on the ass 20 years down the road, where you're working with either Renee Zellweger or Brad Pitt, and you're like, oh, I really wanted to work with Charlize Theron or Leonardo DiCaprio, you know?
Well, by the time I'm like up there or whatever, they'll probably be like, like, what the heck? Who are you?
Right. Young blood.
We're too old to be doing these action films that you want to do, kind of thing.
She'll be casting Justin Bieber in her next action film. It'll finally be old enough.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Give it a few more years.
Predator 4.
No. God, they're like getting worse and worse with their actor choices on those movies.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Yoshi. It's been a very enlightening and fun interview, and I am really looking forward to seeing where this film project goes. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
I'm excited too, guys. I like I said, it can't happen without the crowdfunding. So if we don't get the crowdfunding, then we don't get greenlighted. So I'm hoping for a lot of donations and a lot of like exposure and a lot of help from the community and everyone else around the world.
Word of mouth.
Because the
and
story
such.
that we have, it's unique, it's different, it's funny, and it's something that we're all really passionate about and we want to share with the rest of the world.
Absolutely. So we will be including a link to the Kickstarter in the description of this podcast. So please, anyone that's listening, do check that out. Throw anything that you can in there. Obviously, like Yoshi just said, there are some great rewards for donation. And you'll have a really warm feeling inside just knowing that you helped create one of the most badass movies to come out of South Carolina.
Exactly. There's going to be Transformers in it, just, spoiler alert.
Suck on that,
I'm
Michael
gonna
Bay.
make Michael Bay look like shit,
That
But-
won't bite her in the ass.
No,
No, I don't think it will, because Michael Bay is already kind of on the bottom of the totem pole as far as directors go. He's already the butt of all the jokes in Hollywood. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would have quit after one, but that's just, that's where I'm coming from. Because, aren't they on 4 now? They're making 4?
Are they making a fourth one?
Are they making a
Yes, they're making a 4th one.
Neil,
and I think
I'm
he's
shocked.
behind the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, which...
the
The
ones
one where they're
space.
aliens. Yes.
Yes, which I was not really happy about because turtles are not aliens.
They are turtles.
Right?
Yeah.
Turtles from space.
Yes.
Yeah, he ruined that for me, so...
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick with Michael Bay.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, if like I said, guys, check out our website. We will have a full website for our film coming up. A link for it on our Kickstarter, where you can find out more information about me, my cast and crew, and everyone else. And like I said, we really, really need your donations. Without your help and your, backing in this, we can't do it. So please, like I said, donate. I will come to your house and give you a hug if you donate.
Wow, that's the best kind of donation reward that you can get.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think she's joking either.
I
believe
know.
it.
I'm not joking. If I have to travel to London, I will give you a hug.
Oh, wow.
That's why she can't pay you. She has to afford all of her trips to
Her hug budgets.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hugs are expensive.
All right, well, once again, thank you very much for joining us, Yoshi. Really appreciate having you on the show. And everybody, please check the link in the description to check out our Kickstarter and see what we can do to get this off the ground.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, like I said, guys, please donate. And like I said, we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Yoshi. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming on here with us today.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me on with you.
On a day going down the drain, all she ever does is nag and complain. Ooh, I need a place to get away. Got my sunglasses on, so I say, come on, get up and do the Mankin. 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 a sequin's glove. She just doesn't understand what I love. I take a trip in my DeLorean, and I think that I've had enough. Come on, get up and do the Mankin. 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 New strings on the air guitar. Now I'm shredding like a rock star. Mixtape in my Walkman. Everything I need to Mankin.
Bueller, Mankin.
Come on, get up and do the Mankin. Come on, get up and do the Mankin. Come on, get up and do the Mankin. Come on, get up and do the Mankin. Don't stop. Members only jacket, sequins glove. It's pretty much everything he loves. Come on, get up and do the Mankin. 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 Come on, get up and do the Mankin.
All the funny stuff gets cut out.
No, it's like
Because our stupid sound guy doesn't record it.
What's that stupid voice guy? I can't hear you over your stupid voice.
That's okay, I'll peek your mic. That'll teach you.
Yeah, whenever we want to get back at Neil or me, because I'm the one that ends up editing these podcasts.
Or clap or squeak or
Something so that the guy who's editing it with headphones on, blared up to like 20 decibels, his eardrums blown out. So, anyway, we are moving on to our advice column for the week. Had pretty good experience with it last time, so we're going to keep this on rolling.
Yeah. Sounds good.
First piece of advice is the general one. That's always to be hunting your craft. Always excel what you're good at. Learn and teach yourself how to be good at stuff.
Yeah.
We talked last week about practicing your craft, and this is a little bit different. It's learning the knowledge base of what you want to do and the terms in your field and such, and just immerse yourself in the atmosphere of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Precisely. If you are a filmmaker, you need to learn what a professional camera kit is. You need to learn jargon for being on a film set. If you're a composer or a musician or a band, you need to obviously learn how to play, right? Like Bill and Ted, you know?
Yeah.
Excellent!
There are people out there that know stuff you don't know. You know, don't be afraid to learn from people, you know. Put yourself in situations where you are interacting with people that know more than you, and keep your eyes open.
And just be like a sponge. Soak it up.
Along with that, acting is one of those few careers that you, technically anything you can learn in life, you can apply it to your career as an actor or actress. Because if you enjoy singing, work on it. You will make yourself that much more marketable.
Yeah.
By already having a basis of the knowledge.
Yeah, I knew somebody when I was still in school and they wanted to audition for something that, I mean, it was months out, but they had to have a British accent. Obviously, this wasn't me.
Obviously, the sound guy,
Yes.
the voice guy.
But so, like, from the point they realized they wanted to audition for this, they would not talk without a British accent. They wanted to hone that, you know.
Really?
So for like
Yeah.
2 months solid, it was annoying as piss. But for 2 months solid, you couldn't get this guy to say anything that wasn't in a British accent. You know, he talked it at home. He talked it when he was out with us. He talked it, you know, at a restaurant. You know, and he got pretty good, I guess. But I don't know if he ever got the part. But
Well, you know, the interesting thing about this is there's a couple effects that this constant practice has on you. Number one, obviously, you get better. If you practice something, you improve. So if you actually teach yourself your field, you're going to get better at it, obviously. But as you get more involved with it, and as you keep on practicing, and as you learn more about it, you may find yourself being pushed in a different direction. You may realize that you're going after a field that you're not that interested in. For example, for me, when I was very young, I decided that I had a fancy to be a writer, and I actually contacted Insomniac Games about writing a novel for one of their IPs, and it was a great experience for me because their CEO, Ted Price, actually contacted me back. He called me back, and he looked at the treatment that I had done. He looked at some of the fan work that I had done, and he said, "Well, obviously you're a very passionate fan. You know, you definitely have the gumption to do this, but have you published anything? Do you have any experience writing? Because when we go to Sony and ask for publishing rights, you know, that's what they're going to want to know."
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, no, I haven't." So he's like, "Okay, well, just go ahead and spend the next, 6 months, whatever, working on writing. Like, really improve your writing abilities, get something published, and talk to me again. We'll see what we can do." So I did. I started spending a lot of time trying to write, and I realized that it was something I didn't really enjoy doing. It sounded good up front, but once I got into it, and I actually had to, come up with these characters and make everything fit and just write and revise, I realized it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. Mm-hmm. And I never would have known that unless I actually spent that time to, go and learn how to do it.
Right.
So the more you can teach yourself, the more it's going to make clear to you what you actually want to do with your life.
Mm-hmm. Doing music, I found that if I don't make time or have enough time to sit and realize my ideas and track them or work on a record or just make music or be creative, whether it's crafts or something, but mostly in music, I don't feel like I'm living. Like, I just feel beat down and just, thrown under the bus, and like, why am I here if I'm not being able to create and make music? It's something I have to do to feel human.
Good point. And actually, you mentioned very early on something I want to touch on about if you don't make the time to do it. Mm-hmm. Because that's what the big excuse a lot of us use. Mm-hmm. That's what I used before I actually went and tried to do my little bit of writing stint was, I'm going to be a writer someday when I have enough time. And you really have to find some way to conquer that in yourself. It doesn't matter how little you do, but you do need to do something. You need to say, all right, I am swamped, but I can put 1 hour a week into teaching myself Photoshop. I can put 1 hour a week into learning how to play the guitar. I can put 1 hour a week into learning another language. This idea of making it a priority and scheduling it for yourself is really critical.
Life goals and prioritizing is, you have to work backwards from dead. What do you want to have accomplished by the time you die? And then you go from there and you break it down with what are your big goals? Well, how do you accomplish those? What are the small steps you have to take to accomplish those? What do you have to do to get yourself ready to take those small steps? And ultimately, what can you do right now? So you keep breaking it down backwards until you end up at the day that you are at now. What can you do? If it's, I still need to work a job and pay my bills and get all this stuff figured out before I can move into the career I want to move into, I still have to go to school. Okay, work backwards. At what point do you need to stop working so you can go to school? What does that look like? And when do you get there? And that's when you'll find the motivation to fix everything and make everything fall into place so you can get to where you need to be. Because you don't know where you're going if you can't see it.
And with that, though, you need to have very clear, definitive goals, even little small ones, because when do I need to, when can I stop working and go to school? Well, that depends. What school are you going to? How much is it going to cost? Can you get in? Is there a waiting list? Do you need funding? Can you get federal funding? Or are you going to have to pay for this out of pocket? That's going to affect what you're going to do. Is it going to require you to move? Can you afford living expenses where you're going? You just little things, but you need to have very clear, succinct goals.
Yes. All right, so moving down into a little bit more of the technical side of the advice column, where we explain movie jargon and movie jobs.
Yes.
We're going to talk to you this week about the gaffer.
Ooh, the gaffer.
Ooh, what does the gaffer do?
He's the guy that puts gaff tape on stuff.
Awesome!
I think.
End of segment.
And what exactly is gaff tape, I wonder?
Actually, in all seriousness, gaffer tape is but one of the many kinds of tape that a gaffer uses, Josh.
Oh, really? Does he use it to tape his junk behind his balls?
That's just called a gaff.
Oh. Well, Neil was telling me how his gaff wasn't working for him the other day.
I don't know what you're talking about, stupid voice guy.
I see it because I always thought the gaffer was the electrician.
He is. Josh is actually paying attention to his film classes. The gaffer is the chief electrician. Works pretty closely with the grips, which we discussed last week. As far as setting up lighting, he actually does also involve himself with coming up with a lighting plan for scenes. Where you put the lights at. So there's a tiny little bit of creative
lighting or something.
There's a tiny little bit of ting there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a creative stint to it, but it's also a very technical field. He is primarily concerned with being an electrician on set. He has a wide variety of tools that he might use in conjunction with the grips to make sure that the light is where it needs to be. He's going to come onto a set, he's going to come onto a scene, say, all right, what angles do we need light coming in from? What kind of lights do we need? Where do we need to set them up at? And then make that happen, make that physically take shape.
Reflective tape?
I don't think they use tape is really more to do with rigging. It's more to do with stuff that's out of the scene. If you want to do any kind of light bouncing, you're usually going to use a bounce board or some kind of a large white sheet, or you might diffuse your light with white covers over your lights,
umbrellas, or
exactly. You're not going to have something that's providing a functional use like tape, also providing a lighting use like being reflective.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago listening to some explanation of how the gaffer got its name. And I don't know, it was like some folk tale involved bears and a girl and some beds of varying degrees of softness and hardness. Some porridge, maybe?
I don't think I've heard about this.
Did she have golden locks or something?
Yeah, it might have been. I think you've heard it too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
No, actually, it's not that impressive. The term gaffer actually came about from the early days of filmmaking when they would move overhead equipment in order to control light levels using a gaff. And of course, you all know what that is.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Yeah, why don't you tell us what that is?
Yeah, it's actually this. It's like a thing. It's hard to explain if you've never seen one of these before. I wish you could see it. So that's
like a big metal hook.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a tool with like a big metal hook affixed to a pole. It's a hook on a stick.
It's kind of like a huge sigh.
Not really.
It's kind of like what you pull.
Kind of like a shepherd's staff.
Yeah, it's very similar to that, but
is the hook backwards? The other way though.
Is it what?
I don't know.
The hook backwards?
Yeah, kind of like.
How can it be backwards? It
hooks like this.
It's round.
To move stuff around. Yeah.
So they would use these elongated shepherd's hooks basically to move lighting equipment. Around.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the term gaffer comes from.
Yes, because that makes sense.
Why wouldn't it make sense, Josh?
What's this?
I didn't invent the term. You're blaming me for it.
I'm blaming you for not doing your research.
For not doing my research for
your
the
homework.
podcast that we all do?
Correct.
He's just a stupid voice guy. Don't worry about him.
It's okay.
Ironically, gaffer is not a weird term that originated in cinema. Gaffer is a weird term that originated in fishing, because originally what they would use this big old pole with a hook on the end of it for was for pulling fish onto a boat while they're fishing. Ah,
So
I see.
it's not the filmmakers that made the weird word gaff, it's the fishermen that made that word. But filmmakers have lots of weird words too, like like honey wagon. Like that sounds like a fun, sweet place to go, right? Sounds aromatic.
I've heard about the honey wagon. What exactly is this honey wagon?
That is the crapper.
Ah,
Speaking of which,
Which was also
What? Were you going to go somewhere with that?
That was the joke. Which was also coined by fishermen. Something to do with crappies. I don't know.
not quite.
Whatever.
Stupid voices.
Guy.
It's
Lame.
So, yeah, that's actually the polite way of saying that somebody's using the bathroom right now. So if you're on a set and somebody's like, where's Robert De Niro? You're like, oh, well, he's in the honey wagon. Yeah, so.
The John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. There's a lot of terms in film that don't really make a whole lot of sense because John is one syllable. You'd think if you're trying to communicate on set where things are very hectic, you would use this as short and sweet communication as you can. No, 3-syllable word, honey wagon.
Yeah.
3 syllables, huh?
4.
You count those.
Oh man, I am terrible today.
Yeah.
Stupid syllable guy.
Nice.
All right, so that's your bit of technical movie trivia for the week. Finally, we're going to move on to specific advice from one of our dimensions. Last week, we heard from our audio dimension talking about pursuing a career in sound with a speech impediment, or a career of any kind, for that matter. This week, we're going to hear from Amber with some advice from the acting dimension.
Amber.
Sorry, guys, I just got back from the honey wagon.
Yeah.
Wasn't so sweet, was it?
It was when I got there. It's not anymore.
So, my advice for today is looking for auditions everywhere and anywhere. That includes even places you may not have thought to look.
Such as?
Such as treating any job interview you have as an acting audition. Because you never know who you're interviewing with at a potential job, and you don't know who they might know. Very typical careers for actors and actresses is to work in the food industry as a waiter or waitress, as a host or hostess, bartenders. It's a very, I don't want to say easy job, but it is a very flexible job. The shifts are very flexible. You have a lot of people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. And in that industry, if you have restaurant owners or the managers that are hiring you, they know that that's who a lot of their people are as the wait staff. You never know when they're going to know somebody that could actually do something, and they can work kind of as a subsidiary type agent for you. That's why you always want to put your best foot forward whatever you're doing, whether you're in the working field, whether you're just auditioning, whatever you're doing, you want to treat everything as an audition. You meet somebody at the bank waiting in line to talk to the teller. Treat it as an audition. What would you say to them if you found out that they knew George Lucas? Use it as an audition.
Yeah, it sounds like that would apply even more so, especially if you are in like a wait staff position, to just the people you're interacting with on a basis. You don't know when, there's some filmmaker that walks in on,
Or even to hone your skills that way. If you want to work on a British accent, wait tables
in a British accent.
Right, there you go.
Just try out your different characters while you're waiting tables.
Yes. Try see how hard it is to keep, your tables separate. These people think you're British. These people think you're Scottish.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun challenge.
It would be.
And in all honesty, it's all things that you can use as an audition, because you never know when you're going to be the person that's being watched. And if that's something that you can pull off and stuff that you do, and you treat every interaction as an audition. Don't be so stiff-lipped about it that you never tell anything about yourself. It's a professionalism. You want to make sure that your first impression, your last impression, and everything in between is professional. Yeah, you may be the best person in the world to go have drinks with, but if they are incredibly conservative and think drinking is from the devil and you never drink...
Satan.
then that's not something you necessarily want to have coming up in conversation every 20 seconds. It's not something to necessarily hide, but it's not something that you want to make as known as, oh, well, when I'm not acting, I'm out partying. I'm going to be a big hassle for your network because I'm always going to be in the news.
Sean Southern?
Yes. It's funny, when she first said, look for auditions anywhere, like any place you hadn't thought of before, my brain just goes to the Night Before Christmas. I looked behind the Cyclops eye. I did.
But he wasn't there.
No jobs there. So, practically speaking, Amber, like, naturally, like, I guess some people might say they want to be television actors, but a lot of people immediately default to movies. So, they're going to be looking for movie auditions. What are some things that an actor can apply to aside from just a movie audition?
You go where the work is. If they're looking for an extra, go be an extra. And then when you're on set, treat everybody you talk to on set as another audition to the next step up. Don't just show up there to just be an extra. Show up there, be professional, have your headshots, have your resumes for everything you've done. Because if you get 2 seconds of that director's time, you get 2 seconds of a major actor's time, you want to be as prepared as possible because you never know when your big break is going to come.
So, what would you say about, like, applying for auditions that are not specifically film related, like plays or commercials or anything like that? Do you think that's worth an actor's time?
Absolutely. Anytime you have the chance to be in front of anybody, it's worth your time to do it. If you have the chance to go audition for a play, it's worth your time to go audition for that play, even if you don't get it. Because if you audition for 10 plays at the same theater and never get one of them, that 11th time you walk through there, that director that's sitting there is going, you know, I've seen you here 10 times. This makes the 11th time. You don't fit the role that I'm casting for, but I got an extra role for you. I see your determination. I'm putting you up on that stage. I don't have anything in this one, but I've got something I can put you in. You're here that all the time. You'll show up for work. They will notice. Showing up. Yeah. They will notice. You just have to be there.
And as far as acting goes, though, doesn't that also go back to the beginning of our advice here? Where even if you're not getting stuff, if you're showing up and you're putting in the effort, you're honing your craft.
Mm-hmm. You can look at the people that are making it. What are they doing? If they're auditioning and you're auditioning, but they get the role, what did they do that you didn't? How did they land that role if you didn't? If it's simply they knew somebody and you didn't, then you need to know who they know. If you're as good as they are, you need to know who they know. Because then when they're sick, those directors will call you. It's just how the movie industry works. It's just how the acting industry works. When somebody's got a production to go, they're waiting on somebody. Unless you're Johnny Depp or Angelina Jolie or somebody with a whole lot of clout, those directors aren't going to wait for that specific person. They're taking the next person in line that can do the job.
Especially if they're on a deadline. Mm-hmm. You know, if somebody drops out last minute, they're scrambling to find anyone.
Yeah, Yoshi was talking to us earlier. I don't remember if she actually said it or not, but I know that they have I think she did talk about how they had a real small window that they're shooting, and it's like a month-long production.
Yeah.
You know, if you got somebody who's sick for 2 weeks and they're a major actor, they're not a major actor in this film.
Right.
We got 4 weeks to shoot something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I need someone who can be here for 4 weeks and be ready to work.
There are very, very few films out there that they've actually held off on production to wait for a specific actor. They will go with a second and or third and keep going with your numbers down the choice line until they get somebody that can be there when they need them. If you're currently working and you get that major role that you've been waiting for to call you, you've got to make a choice at that point. Which role is the one you want? And sometimes giving up that major role gives you more clout later on because you didn't flake out on something you were currently doing.
Right. Sometimes you just can't do the contracts.
Right.
It's not an option.
That's a good point, too.
But it comes down to more than just that. It comes down to ethics. If you're ethical, they're going to look at you because that means that when they have you under contract, you're not flaking out on them to go to the next big role.
All right, well said. All right, so there you have it, guys. That's our advice column for the week. Number 1, hone your craft. Learn what you want to do and become better at it. The gaffer is the electrician in charge of handling the lighting plan for shooting. And if you are an aspiring actor, look for auditions under every nook and cranny that you can find. Audition for absolutely everything that you can find and keep on putting yourself out there.
And treat everything as if it were an audition.
Precisely. So, that concludes this episode of the Hypercast. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Had a good time. So, as you saw, we gave you a little insight into how we record things at Broad Spectrum Studios. We answered a few comments from the mailbag. We had a delightful interview with Yoshi Torres, who is shooting an upcoming indie film in the summer in South Carolina. It's called REC.ster, REC.ster. And we will have a link to the Kickstarter in the description of the podcast. So make sure you check it out. And if you can, kick a few bucks on over to it.
Speaking of websites, I now have a website up for my music and the whole Scarecrow bit.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Where's that at?
neilleegriffin.wix.com/scarecrow. You can find out all about me and what I'm doing with the Scarecrows and the Stuttering Association and so forth. I want to give a shout out to Karen Molina for finding me from the Scarecrows page and promoting me in her blog and her site, and just I'm really excited to see somebody else out there who's trying to do the same thing I am, but she's an author and she wrote a book about a 20-year-old dealing with stuttering and all the other issues that come up in a young man's life. It's entitled Shadow of My Father's Secret. It's on Amazon.com right now. You should check it out. And thank you, Karen.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you on the next Hypercast.
See you on the next Hypercast.
Absolutely. I'm not allowed to talk. They've bound and gagged me.
Salute.
They've bound and gagged me. I'm not allowed to speak.
Hey, did you get out of your gag again?
I got out of my gaff.
No one asked for your stupid voice.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. What the crap?
Don't what the crap mean.
What the crap? I always silence my phone when we're in the studio.
Well, aren't you goody two shoes? At least I don't have a stupid voice.
At least I won't have to walk home.
I'll drive you home.
Not if I slash your tires, stupid sound guy.
Nice.
Well, thank you.
Oatmeal.
Neil's feeding me a little piece of crap.
Cow pie.
Delicious cow pie.
Is this made from Appy's own stuff?
No, that is Coca Luwak.
That's if you took this and brewed it into a coffee.
Okay.
You've been feeding her a lot of fiber, huh?
No, that's out of the way.
Strawberries are packed with fiber.
Yeah, you should have made your Bane shirt out of something that smelled like strawberries.
Yeah. Now's not the time for defecation, brother. That comes later.
Alright, so where are we at?
I can get water now to wash the Anthony shit in my mouth.
I know. Please.
Why are we even recording? This is